So then, yeah, I apologise for not being in the usual setup over there. It's just so much easier for me to just put the camera on here and start going. So here we go. Today we're going to be talking about some of my favourite live albums in my collection. So hello, and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. That's right, I'm having a Costa this morning just to help wake me up. Been out doing a few jobs, and man, they always help wake me up. So that's yeah, not having my usual water or a Pepsi this morning. Well, I don't really drink Pepsi early in the morning anyway. See my Pepsi from last night, actually, funny enough, just sitting there. I'll probably have some water in it after this. Pepsi's the evening drink, but yeah, I'm having a Costa this morning because it always helps, wakes me up. But yeah, today, a pretty spontaneous video. I was just sitting here, I'm like, well, I've got to do a video this weekend. What am I going to do? And it's funny because the first vinyl that I'm going to show, I was playing this morning. I was so into it. I was like, The Who's started going now. Fantastic timing. It always happens when I film a video. So yeah, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm going to talk about my favourite live albums. So yeah, before we get into this video, of course, I'm not going to mention every live album. I'm not going to mention all the albums that you guys want me to mention. There's going to be some, for example, I'll just throw it out there. There's no Pink Floyd ones in this video. Pink Floyd fans are going to be like, what? Pink Floyd are great live. You know, David Gilmour on guitar, fantastic. And I completely agree with that. It's just I don't own any Pink Floyd live albums, so I can't really show them because it's unfair. These are just ones in my collection which I enjoy playing. These are live albums which I personally have really enjoyed listening to. As time goes on, this list will grow, there'll be more albums, there'll be more artists added to this list, but this is what it's like right here, right now, and yeah, we're gonna just do this. So first off, I've got two albums which were not pressed to vinyl. I'm not sure, this first one might have been pressed to vinyl, but I've never seen it. So these two are CDs. First one up is going to be The Great B.B. King, and this is a live Kansas 1983 performance, which it's amazing. I really enjoy playing this. It's got B.B. King's blues themes, which of course I love. What else we got on here? Sweet Little Angel is great. The Thrill Is Gone, which is one of the all-time great blues numbers. It is honestly, it's a classic. It's a classic. Yeah, it's got a lot of great tracks on here. So yeah, it's all digitally remastered apparently, even though it's 1983, so CDs weren't even that great back then. Yeah, it's a very, very cool live album. B.B. King's always great live because he is one of the best guitarists. Just hearing him hit those chords where he goes, bang, it's like, whoa. The next one up, this is possibly my very, very favourite live album I've got to talk about today. And I know people are probably going to roll their eyes a bit at this one and go, really? But I'll have to explain. And it is Good Evening New York City by Sir Paul McCartney. Yeah, this is back when Paul's voice still was fantastic live. Because, you know, you watch footage of him from the most recent couple years. And I saw him 3 years ago and I thought he was fine then. But I've seen footage of him in the last year or so and his voice is deteriorating nowadays. Not to say that he still isn't fantastic, he is still fantastic. And, you know, he's a great performer, he's fantastic with the audience. That's why I love watching Paul. He's great with the audience, he interacts with them, he always tells stories. When I got to see him live, he brought out Dave Grohl. He'd done Hope for the Future, which he'd never done live before. He'd done Temporary Secretary, which he'd never done live before. But anyway, this album's really special to me because he does a couple tracks from the Electric Arguments Fireman album, which, in my opinion, is one of Paul's very best albums. I'd easily put it in my top 10 McCartney albums. He does a lot of variety, from Flaming Pie all the way back to early Beatle days. And yeah, it's great. He gets very interactive with the audience. I'm really talking about live albums here, listening-wise. I'm not showing any Blu-rays or DVDs. So I'm talking about just pure listening. But I do have very good memories of watching this with my grandparents, because they absolutely loved this concert. So we used to sit and watch it from start to finish multiple times, because it does come with a DVD in here, as well as a double CD pack. So yeah, Paul McCartney's historical reopening of the Shea Stadium concert in 2009, I believe. Might have been 8. I'm pretty sure it was 9. But yeah, good evening, New York City. Put it to vinyl, Paul. Put it to vinyl. I'd buy it in a heartbeat. Gonna have a quick drink. Right, let's have a look at the record. So as I say, this is the one I was playing this morning. Absolutely adore it. It came out this year, so this is a new release, 2017. It is live at Carnegie Hall, an acoustic evening with Joe Bonamassa. Now this is what it's all about. This album is incredible. Joe done a live album last year. Live at the Greek Theatre, I believe it was. It has a really cool cover, which this one, I mean, it's not a bad cover, but and I was really disappointed because it came out after his album Blues of Desperation, which I think is potentially his best album, and I was really, really excited to hear some of these songs live, and it was all covers of the Kings, you know, B.B. King and whatnot, so all really bluesy, heavy stuff, which I did enjoy. It was a great live album. So yeah, needless to say, I was kind of disappointed in the last album, but that's kind of from a selfish point because I wanted to hear his songs live. So anyway, my camera keeps going out of focus and it's really annoying me. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed in the last one a bit. But anyway, this one come along and it does Blues of Desperation stuff. And not only does it do my favourite Joe Bonamassa songs, he changes them because it's a little bit of a heavy-ish album, Blues of Desperation, and he does them all acoustic here. So not only are we getting these amazing songs, we're getting them a bit different. You know, they're acoustic, they sound fantastic. It's a triple vinyl, it's a beautiful package. And you can see a picture of them all at the top there. You can see Joe just in the middle. Yeah, it's, honestly guys, it's a fantastic live album. It's one of the best things to come out this year, hands down. So, Joe Bonamassa there. Next up is David Bowie. These are in no particular order either, guys, by the way. I've just literally pulled them off my shelf. So it should be in alphabetical order by artist. David Bowie, yeah. David Bowie is one of the best live performers, needless to say. So I had to include a live album from him. And I generally enjoy Stage the most. I think it's a great live album. He does stuff from Ziggy Stardust all the way up to Heroes. And yeah, it's fantastic. He does a lot of cool stuff. He does 5 Years, which is an unusual track. Fame, which I love. Speed of Life, very interesting choice to do live. So yeah, this is again a really good album, and I always enjoy putting it on. It's, you know, a very interesting selection of Bowie songs, which is what I like. Another quick drink. I'm literally down to here, so it's like it's taking me forever to drink. Right, next up, Cream. This is when Cream reunited at the Royal Albert Hall. Of course, back when Jack Bruce was still with us. What can I say about it? It's fantastic. It is. I know a lot of artists come back, a lot of bands reform just to do a live gig. I don't think anyone pulled it off better than Cream. They were just so stylish still, and so just, you know, I don't know how to describe it. They were just still very classy. Jack Bruce's vocals hold up amazingly well because I haven't heard much of Jack Bruce since Cream broke up in 1969. So I don't know what Jack Bruce has been up to really. And he's still sung amazingly. Ginger Baker can still shred it on the drums, and Eric Clapton, of course, is always amazing. So, and they've done a great selection of songs from some lesser known Cream stuff. Like Sleepy Time, Politician. Well, Politicians is kind of well-known one. But, and then they go ahead and do things like Badge and Crossroads and White Room, and it's fantastic. It's a great live album. Honestly, another one which I'd highly recommend to people to pick up. Speaking of Mr. Clapton, I've got two that I want to talk about for Clapton. When you talk about Eric Clapton, he is potentially the best live performer, I think, in my opinion. He isn't he isn't the best in the sense like Paul McCartney, where Paul McCartney will talk and be very engaging with the audience. Eric Clapton is just wonderful to listen to. when you hear him live, it's probably better than his studio work. I'm not gonna lie. Like 9 times out of 10, hearing him perform the songs, these songs sound better live than the studio versions. Also, his guitar work always seems to shine even more live. So I want to talk about Unplugged quickly because this is the best Unplugged recordings out there. I think, you know, quite a few artists have gone on Unplugged now, but no one done it quite as good as Clapton. Clapton just, you know, it was honestly fantastic. I mean, Before You Accuse Me is incredible. I love Hey Hey. Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out is fantastic. The Unplugged Layla is just mind-blowingly brilliant. Walking Blues, you know, Old Love, you know, it's fantastic. But my personal favourite Clapton live album, this is from 2015, I think? Yeah, 2015. Because it really reminds me of when I saw Clapton last year. And that is the Slow Hand at 70 concert at the Royal Albert Hall, which is funny because that's where I saw him. So it's very, very memorable when I watch this. But yeah, he does a couple songs which were there to promote his upcoming album, I Still Do. He does Somebody Knocking, or Somebody's Knocking on My Door, which is of course a JJ Cale cover. And he does some classic blues stuff like Key to the Highway, Hoochie Coochie Man. And he does his classics, I Shot the Sheriff, Cocaine, Crossroads, Layla, Let It Rain, Wonderful Tonight, Tears in Heaven, Little Queen of Spades. Whew. But I absolutely love listening to him live because he sings these songs a bit differently. Like if you listen to Tears in Heaven, he does like a reggae version, which is amazing. And the guitar work, you can hear him just doodling about on the guitar. He'll just be going diddle-doo-diddle-doo-diddle-doo. You do all these funny little things on it. Sounds incredible. Honestly, that live album I put on a lot and I just enjoy it all the time. Next one up, this isn't one of my personal favourites in this list, but I thought I'd include it because it sounds so damn good. This is an artist who sounds almost just like the studio versions when he sings it live, which shows how good this guy is live, really. And that is the Electric Light Orchestra, but of course this is really just Jeff Lynne. This live album came out in 2013. And I believe it is a live recording from the early 2000s Zoom days. I could be wrong now, I'm not 100% sure. But I know in 2013, Jeff was still just getting back into it all. He wasn't doing, you know, he only done his tour in, what was it, 2015, I think? I went to see him, so I should know that I think it was 2015. But yeah, he does all the hits. There's not really any like, oh, I'm surprised he's doing that. The only one where I was a bit like, oh, I'm surprised he's doing that is probably Twilight, maybe Secret Messages. And then there's a couple bonus tracks, Out of Luck and Cold Feet, but I'm pretty sure they're studio bonuses. But yeah, it's not the best live album, I don't think. It's not like Clapton where you're going to get him doing some different things. It is very samey, but it sounds just like the studio versions, which is why it just shows how talented and amazing he is. Right, next up, Genesis. Genesis are great live. Phil Collins is great live. And I'm going to talk about these ones. This is The Way You Walk, and this is Volume 1, the shorts. So this is all the cheesy Genesis stuff, but fun. It's good stuff. So you got stuff like Land of Confusion on here, Jesus Knows Me, which I love. I Can't Dance. You know, In Too Deep. Tonight, Tonight, Tonight. That wasn't a short song, was it? I don't think it was. That was quite long. But anyway, yeah, it's a really good live album. I really enjoy it. And I've pulled out, of course, the second one, The Way We Walk, The Longs, which has some really, really good stuff on here as well. So yeah, Genesis live, as I say, Phil Collins is always fun to watch live. Then, I don't think this artist has too many brilliant live albums out there. He don't have many live albums in general and everything, but I do enjoy it when I put it on. Again, kind of similar feelings towards the Electric Light Orchestra here. It's not one of my favourites out of the bunch of records I've got here, but I thought I'd hold it up and show it because I still enjoy it. And it is Billy Joel, and this is the Russian concert back in the USSR, where yeah, he does perform that song, of course a Beatles cover, but yeah, he does loads of great stuff on here, from Honesty to what else we got on here, An Innocent Man, Only the Good Die Young, Uptown Girl, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not a bad live album. It's pretty good. I do enjoy it when I put it on. And I'm going to hold up this one because I have quite a bit of respect for this one, because this particular artist was going through a lot of the time of this live album. And that is Elton John. And this is, of course, live in Australia. Oops, sorry. So yeah, it's again a really good live album. He does a lot of good stuff on here. A lot of 80s stuff, which me and Elton in the 80s don't really get on too much. But there's a lot of good stuff on here as well. Like, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word. Tiny Dancer, my very, very favourite Elton John song. Candle in the Wind, your song, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. So yeah, I have tremendous respect for this live album. So yeah, I'm holding it up for that. Bit of a controversial one here, because I know some people don't like this, but I absolutely love it. I think this is a fantastic live album, and I would easily say it's one of my very, very favourites. I'd probably put it in my top 5. And that is Song Remains the Same by Led Zeppelin. So yeah, I honestly just adore this album. I think it's fantastic. The track listing is perfection on here. You know, they do everything from rock and roll to The Song Remains the Same, Dazed and Confused, which takes up a whole side, and it is amazing. Of course, they do Stairway to Heaven, Moby Dick, Whole Lot of Love. Man, this is a great live album. It's fantastic, honestly. And this is one which I'm holding up for me, because I know that this, whereas all of these albums, I think most people have heard of or know each of these live albums who visit my channel. People might not know this one, but I'm going to hold it up because I enjoy it. And that's Madness at Madstock, which is a very fun live album. It's very fun. They do everything. They do all their fantastic hits. Yeah, focus camera. Come on, you can do this. Right, there's all the tracks, and I mean, honestly, it's just fantastic. For those people out there who are still not familiar with Madness, all those songs are just hits. In the UK, they're all such fun, energetic songs. Classic stuff. Classic. Have a quick drink. As they get colder, you can actually get more in your mouth. Fantastic. I'm going to hold up this one. It's been talked about to death here on my channel. Or it was in the early days of my channel. And there's a lot of people here in the VC who talk about this one, because it's probably the best and most well-known Beatles-related live album. And that is Wings Over America, which is a fantastic live album. I really like this album because there's so much on it. There's so many songs. I really love how it opens up with Venus and Mars and Rock Show. It's fantastic. I really like that the other band members get their time to shine as well on Spirits of Ancient Egypt. Denny Lane gets a really nice moment on Go Now. And I love Solly that closes the album. Oh, so good. It's so good. And this one here is a bit sad because it's, you know, it's the late and great Tom Petty. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Of course, this is Pack Up the Plantations live. This is the first Tom Petty album I bought. I remember buying this, only knowing Tom from the Wilburys, and I'm like really excited because Tom Petty for me was probably the highlight of the Wilburys overall, I'd say. I mean, I love George Harrison on the first album, and Jeff Lynne does fantastic production on the album. But Tom Petty has some of the best songs, and he's probably the most present on the second album after Bob. And I don't really like it when Bob sings too much. I like it when he's more in the background. So it was fantastic to get Tom on the second album, helping out and doing some songs. So, you know, Tom was probably the highlight for me in the Wilburys. So it was fantastic to get this album. And he does all the brilliant songs. You know, he does Refugee, Southern Accents, Rebel, Breakdown, You Got Lucky, American Girl. You know, oh, it's just fantastic. Miss him so much. Anyway, what are we up to now? Oh, just 2. We've just got 2 left to talk about. How fantastic. Another unplugged one here. Another unplugged album. REM, unplugged in 1991. I know they've done another one. I believe it was in 2001, I think. But I haven't got it. I haven't heard it, but I love this one. My favourite track on here is the unplugged version of "It's the End of the World as We Know It," which is fantastic. But they do Radio Song on here as well, which I love. Belong, which is great. Losing My Religion. You know, it's a fantastic live album. I absolutely love REM. And I think their unplugged stuff, kind of like Clapton, it's just... It's so good. It's so good. It's too good. Last one up. I'm not the biggest fan of this band. I'm not going to lie. But I really like this album because... You know, this was recorded just very shortly after my favourite album of theirs was released. And they play a lot of... You know, they do a lot of songs from that album. And that is The Who, live at the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970. Yeah, so I like The Who a lot. They are a good band, but they're not one of my very, very favourites. But I do loads of stuff from Tommy, and I really do love the album Tommy. I think Tommy is a classic album. It is fantastic. So they dedicate the whole of LP2 to it, I believe. Then they also throw in their best songs alongside it with songs like I Can't Explain, My Generation, Magic Bus. You know, it is really good. Now, I know this didn't come out, you know, this only come out in 2012, so it is a bit of a late album, but it's a nice release from them. It's a nice live album to put out there. It's very good. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. Those are some of my personal favourite live albums that I have in my collection. I know you guys are going to be recommending loads to me in the comments, and I'll try to check as many of them out as I can. I really hope, you know, that I can discover some more from your comments, and I really hope that you guys can take some of these away with you. This is, as I say, my very big recommendations would be, this is my favourite Paul McCartney live album. I think it's fantastic. I definitely picked that up. This is possibly my very favourite release from 2017 in general. It's Between Us and Robert Plant's Carry Fire, Joe Bonamassa's new live album. It honestly is amazing, guys. Honestly, if you're going to check anything out, I'd be so grateful if you bought that on vinyl. It's not that expensive either, and it's a triple vinyl on orange vinyl. It's beautiful. It's well worth the money. And then this Clapton album, I think this goes for a bit of money now. But it's an amazing listen, so maybe just get the Blu-ray. Because I bought the Blu-ray as well, because I like watching that one. And yeah, those would be my main recommendations to take away. And of course, I'm pretty sure most people already own this, but you know, this is amazing, I think. So yeah, those are my big recommendations from this video. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, and I will see you guys next time for another video.